Hello everybody and welcome to Toyah at Home. I'm still on the road with the Posh Pop band doing the Posh Pop tour. We are loving it, loving the music. To perform Posh Pop, it's such a joyous, uplifting album, and the comments within the songs are so empowering, and we're loving the audiences. I mean, a sold out tour. It's absolutely fabulous. This band is going to be with me for the whole year and many years to come, which really excites me. And in the autumn, we're touring Anthem, and our intention is to bring to you the original sounds and the original arrangements, so it really will revisit Anthem, which is going to be re-released in the autumn by Cherry Red. But as you know, Cherry Red are very active and they're re-releasing everything, absolutely everything. And today's song is Brave New World, which is off the album The Changeling, which is going to be re-released next year. Before I go any further, I want to point out that the picture behind me is by a wonderful artist and friend called John Dyer. I first met John in Monton, where I used to live. I've managed to sell my Monton home because I don't have that intention anymore of travelling as much as I did. I want to be based in the UK. But my beloved apartment was just up here. I had 3 apartments knocked into one in the old town of Monton that overlooked this incredible bay, Caravan Bay. Oh, and the sun would come up at 6:30 in the morning, and Fripp and I would sit on our balcony just watching the bay light up. John Dyer's style is gorgeous, and when I met him, he was the resident artist at Hanbury House in Italy, which we could walk to. I mean, it was about a 40-minute walk. It was quite a way, but we loved doing it. And I went over one day to meet him, go into his studio, see his work, fell in love with it. And many artists, pop artists, collect his work. And the colours, for me, this is now by my bed, and it's such a happy memory. I go to bed looking at this painting thinking, those were fantastic days. I absolutely loved it. My intention now, if ever I go back, is I'm going to stay in the Westminster Hotel on the seafront, which has tea dances. It's so traditional. I absolutely love it. And that will be my base from now on in Monton. I don't want any more French bureaucracy arriving through the letterbox every single day. Oh my goodness. Expats living in France, they get so much paperwork. I just wanted to rid that distraction from my life. So I detract. John Dyer, look him up. Absolutely fabulous. Adore his work. His wife Joanna, her work I collect as well. She is amazing. So good friends. We are going to now look at the original video of Brave New World. It was directed by David Mallet. I loved making this video. It was quite a crazy 24-hour shoot. My makeup went on at midnight. Now, this was the most expensive video made in 1982. It was £32,000. But budgets were growing weekly. I mean, Duran Duran spent $1 million on Wild Boys. Michael Jackson spent $10 million on Captain EO for the Epcot Center. David Mallet used a Sky synthesizer. It was brand new technology, first used on David Bowie's Ashes to Ashes, and you could turn the sky any colour you wanted. So makeup put on in a studio in Wandsworth at midnight. Then a car or cars drove us all to Hastings Beach, where we were there for sunup about 6 in the morning, 9th of April, 1982. And to get this image of me coming out of the water completely dry as a changeling child, I had to walk into the water backwards, knowing that the film would be reversed to make me look as though I was coming up onto dry land. We only had an hour to do that shoot, and someone thought it would be a great way of keeping me warm if they gave me a bottle of brandy. So by the time I'm on the beach doing this sequence coming into camera, I'm already had about 10 swigs of brandy, and I had the rest of the day to go, another kind of 17 hours to go on this shoot. Then after that, we drove to the studios in Wandsworth to shoot the most expensive sequence in this particular video. The expensive sequence was I was to walk onto an island covered in white rabbit, surrounded by water. Now, every video has one sequence where the whole budget goes, and this was mine, 10 seconds. Brian Adams, I will run to you, the whole of his video budget went on the tree that lightning struck, and the whole tree burnt down in 2 minutes, and they needed that tree for the whole of the shoot. So, you know, back then in the 80s, our vanity and our kind of entitlement and arrogance went into quite strange moments within the video. After we shot this sequence where I walk through the pond, I had Battersea Power Station for 1 hour where I wanted to be seen riding on a white stallion through a dystopian landscape. The way we got this particular shot, because I hadn't been on a horse more than once in my life, and that was probably 15 years earlier. The horse had not been fed for about 20 hours, and they put a bale of hay within its sight about 500 yards away. They put me on the horse, then the cameraman was in a normal car with a sunroof holding the I think this was 16mm it was shot on. If it was 32mm, that camera would have been too big. But he's holding this camera and the car is driving alongside me and someone just let the horse go and that horse went. And I was just holding on for dear life. I mean, it felt like this, absolutely terrifying. And the horse had seen the hay. So at the beginning of this sequence, I'm miming the lyrics quite well, but then I couldn't get the horse to stop. And you do see a sequence where I'm really pulling on the reins, trying to stop the horse. And they use that bit as if I'm miming part of the song. And I'm actually saying, how do I get this effing horse to stop? It was exhilarating. It was brilliant. And I think this is just one of the classic videos made in the 80s. I am really proud of it. But I was as drunk as a newt through most of the shoot. Then we went back to the studio in Wandsworth, which, by the way, if you've ever seen Ready Steady Cook with Fern Britton, this is the studio where Ready Steady Cook was made, but I took it over for the day. And then we shot the rest of the storytelling sequence with Joel Bogan and all the extras. It's a fabulous video. I absolutely love it. Now, the lyric for this song, actually, I started writing it in 1981. I was in a Holiday Inn in Bristol. The irony about being on tour, if you want to be there in the moment, 100% your best every night, you have to lock yourself away for all the other times you're on the road. I did not speak in the daytime when I was on tour. I still don't now. I drive myself so I don't have to speak. This keeps your top notes clear. Every day you're on stage, every evening you're doing a 2.5-hour show. You have to protect your voice through moisture, by sitting in the shower for half an hour every day to kind of lubricate the cords, not talking, doing relaxation exercises. It's the most bizarre life, and it is a lonely life. So I remember coming off stage from the Bristol, I think it was the Bristol Hippodrome, going straight back to my room while everyone else was having a lovely time with the crew in the bar, and just thinking, why am I doing this to myself? I have no life. It's just all this focus on health and physical energy. And I was lying in the bath on my own, thinking, a loneliness no one knows. When his love dies, yours grows and grows. Now, I had been in the movie of The Tempest, directed by Derek Jarman, and I fell in love with Shakespeare making this movie. And of course, in The Tempest, Miranda has those incredible words, this brave new world that has such people in it. Oh my goodness. I just thought it was so futuristic, so optimistic, and so reflective of how not only Shakespeare but Nostradamus and John Dee, all these incredible soothsayers, could see the future. And I fell in love with that line, and I knew that one day I would make a song with that line in it. When it came to recording the song for The Changeling, written by myself and Joel Bogan, we were so lucky to have The Changeling produced by Steve Lillywhite. Now, Steve Lillywhite went on to produce U2. He did the great kind of epic sounds for U2, and I truly believe Joel's work on The Changeling inspired some of the edges, progression into the guitar sounds that became so famous for U2. And obviously, Steve Lillywhite created those sounds as well. we were in the studio and we knew that we wanted something epic, and it was quite a mature song for Joel and I to write. And we said to Steve Lillywhite, this is like nothing we've ever done before. It's a love song. It's about the unnecessary experience of loneliness when we live in such a crowded world. It's a deeply romantic song. And Joel and I, yeah, we could write it, but we needed the experience of Steve Lillywhite to take it further and to actually realise the song. And he did it brilliantly. And over the years of this millennium, because I didn't perform it very much in the late 80s, 90s, fans started to request it and demand it be put back in the set. And like everything with me, I feel I really learnt to sing in the last 15 years because I have increased my live work. And I think you can only learn to sing if you sing live. That whole spatial experience of having 50% of the event in front of you, and that 50% is the audience. The audience alter the state of everyone on stage and every atmosphere in the room. And in the last 15 years, I have been performing non-stop, and I feel I have learnt to sing this song and to feel this song. I've gone beyond a shot in the dark. And when I work with new singers who have to learn my material, I say, no, that's historical. We will do it with a wink in the eye every now and then, but that is not how I sing now. So now I feel that Brave New World is in my body, it's in my psyche, and the experience I was writing about very much is understood by me now. I am 63 years old. I'm a slow learner, but my motto is we live our lives to learn. Learning never stops. So we're going to go back to the Putney Half Moon, and thank you, Robert Cooper, for editing this very lovely version of the song. And thank you to the Posh Pop Band. This is a beautiful version of Brave New World. And before I go, we have obviously Robert and Toyah tonight. We are mixing up Burning Questions now with Objects of Desire, because Robert is, well, let's put it this way. Gary Newman's daughters, when they met Robert about 5 years ago, they said to him, "Are you OCD?" Meaning that Robert surrounds himself with things that have memories for him. So we thought we'd start exploring that. And tomorrow we got another utterly crazy Sunday lunch. So thank you, everybody. This is the wonderful Posh Pop Band, Putney Half Moon, filmed and edited by Robert Cooper. Brave New World. Stay safe, everyone, and see you out there. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Loneliness that no one knows. When his love dies, yours grows and grows. It's a cruel world. Shall I tell you what I'll do? I'll forget you. You begin us, you surround us, you love another world to dream of. You begin us, you surround us. You surround us, you love another world to dream. surrounded. You love here to bring you are. You surrounded, you lost another world teaching us. You beginners, you surrounded, you